Hi, my name is Erin and I'm here to talk to you today about nail biting and how you can reverse that habit by yourself in your own home, in your own time. So nail biting is quite a common habit amongst both adults and children, and I want to focus today particularly on adults who work in professional settings, as nail biting can be both embarrassing and negatively stigmatizing for these adults. But not only that, it can cause serious pain and damage to the nail bed. So it's really important that we've got methods in place to reverse these habits. So nail biting is often a manifestation of stress, and those who engage in this nail biting behaviour tend to be releasing their stress through that biting. So there are four main steps within the nail biting process. The first step is awareness training, which is actually fantastic. If you're watching this video, it means that half that step is already complete, as you're already aware that you do have this habit and are taking steps to reverse it. So that's really great. So next we need to ensure that there's a competing response, and then we need to ensure that you've got social support, and lastly ensure that you've got continued motivation throughout this habit reversal process. So we'll start with awareness training. So like I just said, it's fantastic, you're already here, so you are motivated, and you're going to need that motivation and persistence to keep going with this. So this process isn't going to happen overnight. It will take weeks, and it does take persistence. So, but it can be done, and it has been done before. So we'll begin with awareness training. So in awareness training, you're already aware, so that's a good start, but we need to deepen your understanding and awareness of how often you engage in this habit and when, and how you're feeling. So what we will do here is I encourage you to keep a daily diary of the episodes of nail biting you engage in. So an episode of nail biting is not a single bite. So for example, an episode would be, say you take 15 bites, but it's all within the same time slot, that counts as one episode. So you'd write that down as one episode, and then you'd write approximately how long that lasted for and how you were feeling at the time and where you were, because quite often that is important to recognise that certain settings increase your chances of nail biting. So next then we're going to go on to competing response training. So a competing response needs to be something that takes place of the negative habit, which in this case is nail biting. In the past, people have often used techniques such as squeezing a stress pull for 1 to 2 minutes or clenching your fist for 1 to 2 minutes. But in a professional setting, this is probably just going to further stigmatise you and does look a little odd. So it's probably not appropriate for that setting. So you need something that you can implement whilst at work without further stigmatising yourself. So recently I worked with a young woman who had a nail biting habit and is now 3 weeks into zero episodes of nail biting. So what we did with her is I implemented a competing response called equal breathing. And equal breathing not only serves as a competing response, but it helps to also release your stress. So it's quite a strong yet subtle competing response. So what happens with this technique is you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose for equal counts. So with this, you need to ensure you've got your mouth closed. So you would, and then you count for equal counts. So if you close your mouth and breathe in for counts, and then breathe out through your nose for counts, and you repeat that process for about 1 to 2 minutes. And then the brilliant thing about this competing response is whilst your mouth is closed and you're breathing in and out through your nose, there is no way you can put your fingers in your mouth. So that will stop the nail biting, and then the breathing and the concentrating on counting helps to calm your mind and release some stress. So that is really great. But another great thing is it's so subtle that none of your colleagues or wherever you're implementing this competing response, no one knows you're doing it. So it's not going to stigmatise you. So that's really great. Now, really, really crucial is social support. So you need to confide in someone close to you, a close friend, a partner, a family member, and encourage them to encourage you and prompt you to use this competing response. So if they notice that you're nail biting and you're not aware that you're doing it, they could say, hey, how about you use your competing response now? Do some equal breathing. And that will further encourage you and motivate you to keep going, because let's face it, our family and friends are really encouraging and important, and we want to please them. So it will further motivate you to keep going with your training, and you'll get there. So moving on with that thought, we need to move into motivation training, which you can implement throughout the whole process. So further to the recording of your episodes and your emotions, I would weekly take a photo of your nails. That way you've got a bit of a before and an after visual reminder of where you're at and how far you've come. And I would also create an advantages and disadvantages list of nail biting. I think you'll find that your disadvantages of nail biting list is significantly longer than your advantages. And this also serves as a visual reminder of why you're wanting to get rid of this habit. And I would put it on your fridge or in your diary, somewhere you're going to look regularly, and it will motivate you to continue with this process. So all these 4 steps need to be put together, and they should flow alongside each other, and then you should be able to get rid of your nail biting habit. And it has worked many a time before, and I really hope it helps you. Thank you.